Well, good evening, everybody. Alan Slaughterzinski for the Brevard Sports Network. And we aren't doing quite as many interviews as we did last summer, this summer. And the reason for that is we just kind of want to pick and choose the ones we want to do and make them interesting. The moment I saw this lady at the Viera baseball game a couple of weeks ago, I knew she was going to be one of the interviews that we had to do. I tell you what, she had a really, really good freshman year in college, and we're going to talk about that too. But back here in the Brevard Sports Network studio for a second time and it's still weird for me to say, it's the former Viera Hawk and now Jacksonville University Dolphin, Skylar Waggoner. Skylar, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to have you back in studio. So, before we start talking about softball and all that, you went on a trip recently. How much fun did you have?
I had so much fun. I went to the Keys with my boyfriend, and it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. I've never been to the Keys. Pure Floridian. I've never been to the Keys except for a few weeks ago. So that was awesome. Just really enjoyed my time.
You had a good time?
Yes, for
now,
sure.
I never get involved in student-athletes relationship, but I saw your boyfriend, and I was like, oh, my God, I had no idea. So who is your boyfriend?
My boyfriend is the Logan Keith.
There you go. Right? So, and when I saw Logan, I can remember seeing you and Logan together after a softball game last year, and I was like, wow, that's cool. That's really, really cool. Well, good for you and good for Logan, and I'm glad you had a good time on that. Okay, let's get down to the creme de la creme here. Your first year. Take me back to when you checked in at Jacksonville University and mom and dad and everybody turned around and left. And you were there for the first time by yourself. How were you feeling? How did you adapt?
So at first it was pretty odd. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be. I'd never been alone really in my life before. So this was a really huge change. And it's school, it's softball, it's everything, all the above. Friendships. Doing my own laundry, making my own food, things that you don't think about until you're in that position. At first, it was pretty hard. I got to admit, just trying to acclimate and do everything on my own. But I had a great support system. I had 12 other girls doing the exact same thing as I was, freshmen. And it kind of brought us closer together in the fact that we had never been through this before.
Right.
And I don't know, it was hard at first, but after the first few weeks, you kind of get used to it, and classes and meeting new people and the scenery and everything like that. It honestly was quite fun. I enjoyed it.
What was the thing that you learned how to make? What became your go-to meal? If you had to cook a meal on the fly and you wanted something good, what is Chef Skylar Waggoner's go-to meal?
Chips and cheese.
Spoken like a true college student. What advice would you have for people in your, anybody in your position? Looking back, what would you do different?
I don't know. I feel like be a little bit more open to new ideas and new people. I think when you go into college, you're very closed-minded. You don't know exactly what you're going to run into or whose head you're going to bump. You're all by yourself. You have no mom and dad to back you up at all. But I think just be a little bit more open-minded and just be accepting to everything that you're going to do, because you're not going to know how to handle those situations.
Yeah, because it's definitely a learn on the fly life experience. That's for sure. What advice would you offer people? What would you tell them to make sure that they are most prepared for?
Be kind to everyone.
Yeah.
Because you meet a lot of people that who knows where they'll be in 20 years.
Gotcha.
That could be your next employer. That could be someone that you want a job that you want, and you happen to know someone that is an alumni from your school. Then you have a connection. Like, it's just so important to be kind and be so nice to everyone, because you never know exactly who you're going to meet on campus or who your coaches have connections to or your teachers. Just be nice to everyone. Go to class. Do your homework. Just be a good person, student, athlete if you are, things like that.
You know, one of the things that I've spoken to a lot of student athletes about that I wish school systems did more of, especially in your senior years, is sort of like a mod system where you have free time, because to have that free time available for the first time is a difficult thing to have to deal with. You don't necessarily a lot of times know how to fill that free time. You don't know. And more than not, and you're looking at one of them, right? You get into the wrong stuff, and so it's a learning experience, and you're right. Be kind and keep your mind open. I like that. All right. So the one thing you do as good as anybody is spin this thing right here. I loved watching you pitch at Viera. What'd you miss most about high school? And it's okay if it's nothing, because I didn't miss anything about high school except my friends.
I think what I miss most about high school is probably, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Sure.
I really enjoy college, and I love every bit and piece
You're
about
good.
it.
You're glad to be to the next
I'm
step.
so happy.
Yeah, good for you.
But
You know what?
I maybe miss my teachers.
Yeah, there you go.
I have good connections with them, but I have good connections with my teachers in college. I
Right.
have good connections with my other classmates, because our classes are only 20, 30 kids big.
Right.
So it's very small atmosphere. It's almost like high school.
Very intimate.
Yes.
And you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not much different than high school was, honestly.
What are you studying up there again?
I'm studying education.
Okay. All right, so that's right. You're going to be a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Okay. All right. So the first time, when did you reported there last? Probably August, right?
Yeah.
So you get there in August. So when do workouts? I mean, I know you're working constantly in college, but when do workouts really begin in earnest for you for your freshman year up there? When did you really start having to then incorporate the everyday softball life into what you were doing?
Well, it probably started a week after classes. They gave us about a week or a few days to get acclimated to new school, new atmosphere, new rooms, having a roommate for the first time. They give us a few days to acclimate, get used to it, and then it's go, go, go right after that. We have lift, we have individual practice times, we have extra workouts that we can do on the side, just a whole bunch of stuff right off the get-go.
I imagine they probably want to keep you extremely busy, especially freshmen, sophomores, just to make sure that, because college is work. And if you go to college and you don't play a sport, it's completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it's, you have to find a part-time job, and, I completely get it here with Jacksonville University freshman, now rising sophomore, Skylar Waggoner. And what did you really like about the school? What did you learn about the school when you got there that really struck you that you didn't know?
Well, we have this beautiful beach on campus that you can walk around, go hang out by, have a bonfire, boats out there. Our rowing team goes by in the morning and the afternoon. But I didn't know how often dolphins swam by.
Really?
You can sit out there in the chairs and you can see dolphins go by at almost any time of the day.
Did it hit you? Did you go, oh, yeah, the dolphins?
Yeah, it honestly did. Like, I knew we were the dolphins, and I
Right.
knew there's a river there with dolphins
Sure.
in it. But to go out there and just see them thrive, it was like, okay, this is pretty cool. So I go out there and I sit a bunch and just try to enjoy the sunset, the dolphins, the water, the waves, the calm, the peace. I love it all. It's so nice.
You're a Florida girl through and through, aren't you? Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, all right. So let's flash forward to Game 1, James Madison University. Skylar Waggoner, the freshman, is getting this. When did you learn you were going to start Game 1?
About 2 hours before the game.
Nuh-uh.
I found out in our pregame meeting. Yeah, right before we started warm-ups.
How did Coach convey this to you?
So we all sit in our team room right before a game. We turn the lights down. We kind of have like a little moment together to,
Sure.
to rally us up. You
Mhm,
know,
right.
It's the first game of the year. It's exciting. A lot of us have never played college softball before. It was just a really big moment for us. And so she sits there and she tells us about how we're prepared. And
This
how
is
we're
Erica
ready.
Ayers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, head coach. And she's sitting there on the stool and talking to all of us, just trying to calm us down and get us prepared. And then she reads off the lineup, and then she says, your starting pitcher is freshman Skylar Waggoner.
Oh!
And then everyone starts banging on the tables, and
No.
it was surreal almost.
Yeah.
It was like, wait, what? Like, I look at everyone, and they're like, it's you, and they're like pushing on me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Wait.
Like, this is my first ever college game. Like, there's no way to prepare for that moment. Your first start, your first pitch, your first ever game warm up. I've done it before in high school so many times, but it doesn't.
You take it for
compare.
granted, right?
You do.
Right.
Like, it's nothing like you can compare that feeling. It's insane.
And you know, the other thing that I think is important to know here is that this was a game, I think it was like on ESPN Plus or something like that. So, yeah, you know, I know that, you know, that pretty black and red BSN banner hanging somewhere looks good at a high school field, but it ain't nothing like when you see an ESPN banner. What's that feeling like when you know? Now, you did this in high school, actually, pitched on national television, but what's it like to know, man, not only am I getting my first start, but ESPN Plus is here, and I mean, you got to be, I know you're thinking about all of this.
Yeah, it's pretty scary when you see all the big cameras come out.
Yeah.
You see everyone talking to you.
That ain't no cell phone and Alan and Caleb hanging over a fence.
Unfortunately, no. But it is pretty cool. It's surreal almost. But you know, they have to count you into the first pitch. You know, you have so long before
TV timeouts.
Yeah. So they're standing out on the field with headphones, headsets, and gear on, and I'm like, what's going on?
Right.
But it was actually so cool, and the ESPN people say really nice things, and it's always so cool just
They
to
do.
know, to be on TV. I mean, I go to a small school, but they have done so much for us and putting us
They
on
did.
the map, and
Yeah.
just putting a lot of games out there for other people to see and reach, and it's just so awesome for what they do for us.
I was so happy for you because I watched a good amount of your games this year that I could on the ESPN app and ESPN Plus, and yeah, I you know, I wouldn't always like, you know, let your mom and dad know I was watching because, you know, I you don't want to put pressure on any more pressure on people than there already is, right? Because freshman year, now you lead. Let me get my Coach Bobby clipboard out here. So you lead the team. You led the team this year. You had 6 wins, but you led the team in innings pitched this year, 125. Tell me about your first strikeout. I know you remember it.
Yeah, it was against James Madison in the first inning. That was so cool. I really didn't think it was going to happen. I was still shaking.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
Still nervous.
I was nervous. I was happy. I was scared. I was all of the emotions. And I just remember looking over, and Daniel, one of our videographers, he goes, I got it on camera. And I was like, no, you didn't. He was like, yeah, I'm going to send you the video in a few days.
Send it to me.
And I will.
Okay.
And, it's on Instagram.
Okay, yeah, I'll grab it.
But it was so cool. He posted it and tagged me in it, and I was like, this is real.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. And from there, I just kind of settled in and did my thing, and it was awesome.
You got 66 more of them this year. Listen, what did you learn? Actually, no, I'm sorry, 72 more of them. You had 73 strikeouts this year. What did you learn? When did you realize? Like, I always ask football players this question. When did you realize you weren't Dorothy in Kansas anymore? Meaning that this ain't high school, that you're at the next level and everybody that you're throwing to is a Melbourne or a Bartow. You know what I'm saying? When did that moment hit you?
When I threw to Skylar Wallace at Florida, opening night. That was crazy. I've looked up to her for years. I think she's just an amazing player. And to be able to have that moment, like Skylar versus Skylar right now.
Right.
On the Florida Gators softball field.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of when it hit me that I, had to put my big girl pants on.
Right.
And play some real college softball.
And what was that experience like going against the Gators for 2 games? And I mean, listen, you just watched them nearly pull off the upset of Oklahoma in the College World Series, and so what was that experience like for you?
It was super cool. I mean, their field is amazing.
Yeah.
Their field crew is awesome. The fans there are loud and very lively. Having a sports system from the Jacksonville parents was super cool too.
It's different.
It's so different.
Yeah.
And you can't really describe it until you're there.
1,200 people there watching you play softball.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, playing at home or playing against somebody else in the preseason is a completely different vibe from when you're at a huge stadium with national champs from 2014 and 2015, a whole bunch of All-Americans, SEC Player of the Year, national hitter, Skylar Wallace. It's just crazy. But, I mean, it's what I had to do, and I got it done.
How'd you do against her?
I don't quite remember, but I'm pretty sure she got a few hits on
Did
me.
she? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to keep her.
Yeah.
off
Oh,
the bases,
absolutely, it
but
is.
She didn't hit a home run off me, so I think that was.
That's a
highlight
win.
of my night.
That's
Yep.
right. That's a win. As a freshman, that's a win.
Otis hit a home run off me.
Okay. All right.
But it wasn't Skylar. So.
Sometimes when you're learning at the next level and things like that happen and you give up, I knew a guy one time who pitched at a high minor league level. And he said, he told me about a time he had given up a home run to George Brett. And he said, it was one of the greatest moments of my career. And I just looked at him like, what are you, nuts? And he goes, I gave up a home run to George Brett. He said, but I learned so much after it. It was in a spring training game, and he was on the same team. He said, Brett came up to me afterwards, and he said, hey, kid, nice pitch. I just went down and got it. He said, that just made my whole spring training. What did you learn this year that will make you a better pitcher as a sophomore?
I learned a lot of emotional control and just being able to say, this happened, but this is a new inning, this is a new pitch, this is a new batter. I'm ready to go. I had a few moments definitely during my freshman campaign where I had a hard time differentiating between pitch and pitch, batter, things like that. I'm young, I'm still learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in new situations, but I definitely think that will help me a little bit more this year. Towards the end of the season, I got a lot better at it, controlling my emotions, doing what I need to do, evaluating myself from the circle, not from in the dugout after it's over, but immediately right after it happens. But I think that's probably one of my biggest things is just figuring out how to keep myself up and everybody around me, even when it's tough or it's not what we wanted or something doesn't turn out the way that, it should have. Just being able to be there for my teammates and keeping them up while I'm up, but also focused and ready for the next play.
You get your first win of the year when?
Against Fordham.
Okay. Now, that came in a 9-0 5-inning game. So you get your first win of the year. A game, by the way, I happen to watch on ESPN Plus. I just want you to know that.
Okay.
So tell me, I think it was on a Saturday. All right.
It was opening weekend.
Yeah. I think it was on a Saturday. And tell me what it was like. Where's that ball at? You have that ball?
I definitely do. It was my first ever no-hitter.
I forgot it was a no-hitter. That's right.
Yep. That game was awesome. I didn't even know it until we walked off the field and everyone's hugging me. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, it's a no-hitter. And then my face my face dropped and I was so excited and everyone was hugging me and we were taking a bunch of pictures. That game was awesome. It was my first taste at victory. And after that, I was like, this is what I want.
You're ready.
And then I settled in. That game really helped me just
it's like getting a
breath.
big monkey off your back.
Yeah, for sure. Trying to prove myself on the field and also just trying to be the best pitcher that I could. And that game just really helped push me along. Okay, yeah, you may have lost to James Madison, but here you are. You're back. This is you. This is the pitcher that everybody knows. take it and run with it.
From a technical standpoint, in the circle, what do you need to work on? What do you feel you need to spend this off season honing in on?
Definitely speed.
Okay.
And just control.
Gotcha.
Just
doing what you can do.
Yeah,
You're
just
close.
fixing things to the smallest degree.
Mm-hmm.
Small changes are big changes on the field.
Sure.
But just trying to make myself faster, better, stronger for next year.
What did you learn from Coach Ayers this year? Tell me about Coach Ayers.
She is definitely high energy. She's definitely a short package of fire.
Right.
She's awesome. I just learned a lot of, fielding on the field with her, pitching, how to come to balls, how to field bunts, what I need to do in certain situations. A lot of fielding and just how to be the best version of myself.
Is it weird not to be playing travel ball this summer?
It is definitely weird, but I enjoy the peace and
Sure,
quiet.
you do. Right.
No 8 a.m. games.
Right.
In the middle of July.
Oh,
no
yeah.
115-degree travel ball day.
140 on turf.
Yeah.
Right.
5 games a day. I'm so happy. I miss travel ball dearly. I
Right.
mean, I loved it. My team had a great run last year.
But it's time.
But I'm happy for this new chapter, and I'm happy to watch them play. That's definitely cool, but I miss it all the time. I mean, I always want to play travel ball, but a part of me is happy.
Did you learn any new pitches?
Nope.
No, okay, all right, because I was going to make you show me. All right, that's good. All right, so I asked you what you missed most about high school. What did you, and you can't say your family or Logan, what did you miss most about home, Brevard County? What did you miss most about being here? Was there a particular place, or was there, particular whatever, restaurant? What'd you miss most?
I miss La Maramba. Is a Mexican restaurant in Rockledge. Their street corn is amazing.
It's amazing.
And we just don't have a place like that. And so as soon as I come home, I'm like, Mom, I want Mexican.
Right.
Like, I want food. I want this. I want that. I also missed my mom's home cooking.
There you go.
We do have team
What's the
meals.
favorite thing your mom makes?
Chicken and rice.
There you go. Pretty basic, right?
It is, but it's so good.
So good.
But we do team meals once a week.
Okay.
Only a few of us go sometimes. It just depends on the day because we can go Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. But Campus Connections, they do a bunch of pictures for us.
Nice.
Mr. Johnny and Miss Tammy, they hold a dinner for all student athletes, and then after we do a little Bible study.
Very nice.
It's really awesome. They take care of us, and that's a home-cooked meal that I get once a week, and just a really good family environment, and it's awesome.
Well, as you know, last year, before you left, we named you the 2023 Brevard Sports Network Softball Player of the Year, and at the time of your interview, whether it was probably my negligence, it usually is. I can't remember what it was, but we didn't, for whatever reason, and again, it was probably my fault. We did not have your plaque at the time. I saw you at the game, and you said, "Did you ever get my plaque?" And I was like, "Yes, we did." And matter of fact, I got one sitting over there for Jackson Fain from Holy Trinity. He was a special teams player. Jackson, come pick up your plaque too. But congratulations on being the Brevard Sports Network 2023 Softball Player of the Year, a plaque that is wholeheartedly deserved. Listen, Caleb and I were looking last night, kind of looking at your highlights a little bit. The home run you had hit off of Frantic, and winning that, and going over to Bartow and playing over there in that regional final. Did you keep tabs on Viera this year?
I did.
Did you?
I watched a few of their games here and there, just trying to keep up with what I could and how busy I was. But
Right.
they seemed to be doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was super proud of all my seniors that I graduated and everyone that I played with. Seemed like they did well, and I just hope they keep up the good work and carry that Viera name on.
Once a Hawk, always a Hawk, right?
Amen.
There you go.
VG4L.
There you go. So what? So outside of school at the 904, and have you found how does Skylar Waggoner relax when it's all said and done up there? When you have time, when you really have time to yourself, what do you do?
Me and my roommate will usually go for an acai bowl and go sit and just relax in the courtyard. We'll go for a drive, just drive down to the beach and hang out, just listening to music, no talking, just windows down, music playing, just to relax.
I can relate to that.
We go to the on-school beach. We go sit and listen to the waves. Just anything we can to be outside. We don't want to be in our rooms as much, so anything we can do, we just go outside and relax. It's awesome, and it's quiet.
Now, the big thing here this week, from a high school standpoint, was that name, image, and likeness was passed, that you could capitalize off of that at a high school level, but you could do that at college as well. Have you thought about that at all? You know, softball players seem to really have a good beat on this, I noticed, in terms of name, image, and likeness and influencing and things like that. Have you thought about that at all at the college level?
Yeah, you know, I actually do have something in
What do you got
right now.
Or if you can't say, you can't say. That's fine.
I'm working with 4-1 Sports.
Okay.
And we're going to get together and do a little,
NIL.
Something, yeah.
I like that. Good for you.
You'll be the first to know.
I probably, that was the next question. Well, you going to tell me?
Of course, you're going to get insider information.
There you go.
When you know, you know.
She knows. She knows how we operate,
Yes.
right?
But I'm super excited. Ricky Bumgarner has been awesome to work with.
Ricky's amazing.
Just a great guy.
Yeah, he really
overall.
is.
I didn't have the pleasure to really play with him.
Right.
Because I know that he worked with Viera this year. But he's just been super kind to me and just really let me do my thing.
It was weird seeing him out there coaching the bases.
Yeah, I did. At first I was like, I don't really know who that is. And then everyone was like, it's Ricky. And I was like,
I didn't either the first time. I was like,
yeah, because I thought he was at Merritt Island. And then all of a sudden he was at Viera. And, I'm just peeking in and out. I don't know too much about what's going on. And, I thought that was pretty cool. But he does a good job with gear. And
he promotes the sport, the student athletes. Ricky does a great job. I have to get him in here and talk to him. But looking back on all of it, and we'll end with this. Looking back on all of it, what advice would you have? I asked you this question last year as you were going to Jacksonville University. You're blessed because you really seem to have made the right choice for you. 50-50 split. Half the college student athletes that make these choices, it's not the right one for them. So if you could offer up one piece of advice or two to a prospective recruit who has options like you had, what would you tell them?
Well, if they were coming on a visit to my school, I help a lot with recruits at JU. I love it. I love showing the kids around. I love dressing them up and taking pictures. It's just my thing. I'm very outgoing. I love hanging out with recruits. My one advice to them would be find the school that speaks to you. Like, there might be a program that you think is really good, but if the school doesn't speak to you, then you're not going to enjoy it. Because school is so important for softball athletes right now because we don't get paid very much to play professionally. So you're really going to get a good degree, you're going to get good school, and softball is a part of it, but overall, like, you want to have a great schooling,
right?
You know what I mean?
The whole experience, yeah.
So it's really important for me to express to the students that come and look at the school, does it have your degree? Does it have what you want to do? It's pretty. The softball is great, but does it have what you want to do? Because if not, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to make the best out of your time. You're not going to enjoy any of it.
What spoke to you at Jacksonville when you visited? Because I know you visited there, right? What spoke to you?
Well, honestly, the coaches really spoke to me. They had exactly what I wanted to do at the time. Now it's changed, but they still have it. Just the overall atmosphere spoke to me. It was gorgeous. The facilities were nice. The campus is gorgeous. The beach was nice. And apparently there's dolphins 24/7.
There you go.
Hidden treasure.
Right.
But it was just the field, the coaches, the players, things like that. And everything else just kind of adds to it. But it just has to speak to you. If it doesn't, then don't waste your time because you won't be happy.
I can't think of a better way to end, and you definitely want to be happy. And you know what, Skylar? You look and sound happy.
I am so happy.
Good for you.
I enjoy school. I love school. I love softball. And at JU, school and softball just work perfectly hand in hand. The coaches are great. The players are great. The gear we get is amazing. We get very nice shirts, shoes, things like that.
I did want to ask you this because the one thing that I used to cover Florida Tech football, and I travel with them sometimes, and I used to always pay very close attention to the freshmen because, on a lot of occasions, it's the first time that they travel as a team. They either get on a bus or they get on a plane or they, it is really a very cool thing to travel. You like it. Now, when you play for 4 years, you start to get, this bus ride or we got to go on this tarmac or whatever. But what was that experience like? Because I know you travel for club ball, but that's different than traveling with your college team. Take me through that.
Well, our first weekend of the year conference, we flew to Kentucky. That was super cool. I never packed so light in my life. I basically had to carry my uniform, 2 warm-up shirts, and a pair of pajamas.
That's it, right?
That's about it.
What's it like to get off and everything is done for you?
It's pretty cool. They wash our uniforms for us.
Right.
Everything else we do ourselves.
Right.
But it's kind of cool. I mean, us as a team.
No, I mean like go and you check in and they give you a key.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're supposed to be here at this time for dinner. And it's amazing, isn't it?
Yes, it's so cool. And they ask us, like, what do you guys want for dinner? And I'll tell her, because our grad assistant would do food. She'd be like, guys, we're having tacos. And it would be like, Taco Tuesday.
There you
we're
go.
all downstairs filling up tacos, just having the time of our life. It's really
What
nice.
was the coolest place you traveled to? And I know you don't get to explore and do this and that, but because sometimes getting away is needed. For teams,
for sure.
It's needed for players. You get away from, wherever. But where was the place that you enjoyed traveling to this year?
I would definitely have to say Kennesaw State.
Okay.
Their field was gorgeous. And right next to our hotel was this cute little coffee shop. And a few of us went there and we got really nice coffee. It was super cool. We're allowed to walk around if there's a gas station or a coffee shop nearby. So we did that, and the field was just amazing. Second, I would have to say Lipscomb. Their field was beautiful. I mean, just a great facility. And we were in Tennessee, so that was pretty nice too. But those had probably
And I think it was like March or something like that, and the weather was probably
beautiful. Yeah, no rain. It wasn't too cold out. It was just nice.
Did you have to
overall.
pitch in any cold this year?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I pitched in Kentucky. Yeah, that was really cold.
How was that for you? That's probably like a new experience too, right?
That was definitely one I'll never
Different,
forget.
yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It rattles your bones.
A little bit.
Yeah, it does for sure. But
I'm a better person for it.
there you go.
You
Thank you. And we miss you. I missed you this year. Obviously, Skylar Waggoner with another strikeout. It was a great year for softball in Brevard County. It really was. Viera did well. Melbourne, of course, 1 loss. But good luck to you. And it was fun watching you pitch. And obviously, we're going to have our eyes on you throughout your entire career. And good luck to you, Skylar.
Thank you for having me.
Always. And we'll have to, every year you have to come back right after you graduate, you have to come back and we'll go over it all again.
For sure.
Absolutely. But, all right. That's awesome. And you know what's even more awesome? The fact that we actually finally got her plaque. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the incredible part about
You're
it.
in the making right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, right? Aren't all of them.
Right.
But want to thank Skylar and, of course, Caleb, who sets – if you've ever been here, you know what the small area we operate in. And Caleb does a terrific job making sure everybody looks and sounds terrific. So thanks to Caleb. And if you think that you fit the mold of what we're looking for this summer – then reach out to me. We would love to have you come and sit and speak with us. Just know I'm going to keep you here at least for 30 minutes. So if you've got that much to say and want to talk, I'm here. So for Skylar Waggoner, I'm Alan Slaughterzinski for the Brevard Sports Network. Have a great night, everybody.